Hi, welcome to the last part of the 6-part series looking at how to create a maze game using Pygame. In this part, we are going to be looking at implementing buttons and UI navigation for the game. So we are going to add in a start screen. We are going to put pause functionality in the program. We're going to include buttons, so a start button, a quit button and a resume button. And hopefully by the end of this, you will have a game that you will enjoy playing, that you have coded from scratch. So starting with the main.py window, we are going to import the button from the button file. And moving across to the button file, we are going to import Pygame and we're going to create a class called button. Inside this, we're going to define how to initialize a button, and this will take in self and then an X and Y location, as well as an image, so a picture that we are going to display. And the self.image is going to equal the image that has been provided as a parameter, and we are going to set the self.rect to be equal to the image's rectangle using self.image.getRect. And the top left of this rectangle is going to be placed at the X and Y coordinate. We are then going to define a method called draw, and this will take in both the instance of the button as well as the surface that we are drawing the button on. And we are going to set a variable called action to be equal to false. And we are going to track where the mouse pointer is in relation to the button using pos equals, so pos variable equals pygame.mouse.getPos, where pos is position. And then we are going to check to see if the mouse has mouse over the button. So in here, we are going to see if the rectangle of the button has collided with the position of the mouse. And then we're going to check to see if the mouse button has been pressed. So we use pygame.mouse.getPressed, and then we use the 0 as the location, and 0 means the left mouse button. So we're checking to see if the left mouse button has been pressed. And if it has, we're going to set action to be true. We're then going to draw the button by blitting it onto the surface, where we specify that the image we want to display is the image, and the location where we want to display it is the rectangle. And then we are going to return action back to the main program, or the program file that called this method. In this case, it'll be main. Okay, moving back to main, we now need to import or bring in the button images that we are going to be using. So these are also in the assets folder, and we're going to say that our start image is the image that is stored in assets/buttons, and it's the one that is called start.png. And we access that by using pygame.image.load, and then we convert its alpha. We need to scale our start image, and we are going to use the scale image helper function that we wrote before, and we are scaling it by the value bscale, which we will set in the constants file. So we are setting the button scale on the constant file to be equal to our general scale times 0.75. I'm going to copy and paste those 2 lines of code twice more. And for the first copied pair, I'm going to change wherever I wrote start to be quit. For the second button, the quit button. And then for the third, I'm going to make it resume. So lines 84 and 85, we have changed start to quit. And lines 86 and 87, we have changed start to resume. And there are 4 places in each pair of rows where you need to change these details. Moving down, we need to initialize these as buttons, as at the moment all we've done is load the images. So under where we have declared the fade, we are going to set up our buttons. So we are going to have a start button, which is going to be a button, and we are going to feed in where we want these buttons to be. So I want the start button and the quit button to be displayed so that they are in a line with 10 pixels between them. So the start button is going to be positioned at the screen width divided by 2 minus the width of the image minus 5 and 50 down from the middle of the page, and that the image that's going to be displayed is the start image. For the quit button, I want this to be on the opposite line of the vertical central line. So it's going to be positioned horizontally at the screen width divided by 2 plus 5, and like the start button is going to be positioned at the same height, and the image that's going to be displayed is the quit image. I'm then going to duplicate the quit button and call it quit 2, because on the congratulations page I want to display the quit in a different location. I want the quit button on the congratulations page to be placed at the midpoint horizontally, and I want it to be 175 down from the horizontal midpoint. So it's positioned underneath the different ways of saying congratulations. But again, for that second quit button, I want the quit image to be displayed. For the resume button, it's going to be displayed on the pause page in the same location as what the start button will be placed on the starting page. So, returning back up to the top, we are going to copy the font line, and we're going to make a variable called font large or font LG, and we are setting the font size for this one to 64. And then we are going to create a method that is going to print information about the game to the screen. So we're going to call that def game info, and it's going to have the background fill of the background color, and then written on it we're going to have maze game written in that large font in the color of the text, and then underneath it we're going to have instructions on how to play the game. So we're going to have written in the smaller font WASD or arrow keys to move, escape to pause, and find your way to the ladder. This game information is going to be displayed on both the start page and on the pause screen. Each of the screen widths and screen heights were determined so that the lines were roughly centered on the page. So we are going to set two front screen colours, the front screen background and the front screen text colour, and the front screen background is going to be 51153204, which was the same colour as the line was previously, and the text colour is going to be 5151102, which is the same colour as what the top bar was. Moving down into our while loop back on the main.py page, we are now going to implement the start screen. So if we haven't started the game, then we're going to display the game info screen. And if the start button .draw has returned true in that somebody has clicked on the start button, then we're going to set start game to be true. So until that's clicked, it will always end up in this if statement. And once we set the game to be true, it's going to run the fade. So it will move between screens with a nice fade. And if the quit button is drawn, returns a true, then we're going to set quit to be true and quit the game and stop the program. If we've said that we have started the game, then we're going to see if we have paused the game. So if pause game has been set to true, then we're going to again display the game information. And if the resume button, its draw method, has returned true, then we're going to turn pause game to false. And we've also going to have the quit button on that page. So if the quit button has, when it's been drawn, has returned true, then we're going to set quit to be true and quit the game. So if we have started the game and we haven't paused it, we're going to do everything else. So we now have an else, and we want to select all code to just before the event handlers. And we want to tab that in so that it falls into that else bracket. We then want to add into our event handler something that is going to indicate that we have paused. And we are going to use the escape key as an indication that we want to pause the game. So we're going to look to see if the event key that has shown up in the event log is the escape key. Then we're going to set pause game to be true. Moving back to our congratulations screen, as I said, I want to add a quit button to the congratulations screen. So we're going to use the if quit button to, when it is drawn, returns true. We're going to set quit to be true, so it quits the program. And let's run the program to test it. So as you can see, we have a start screen. When we press start, we go on to our level 1. If we press escape, we get a pause menu. Resume will take us to the level, and then when we press quit, it will close. Again, running it level 1, start menu loads, we press quit, and it quits the program. Changing the level to level 31, which as of writing does not currently have a level. When we press start, we get the congratulations screen, and when we press quit on this, it quits the program. So we now know our buttons work. Reset our starting level back to 1, and we have a fully functioning program for you to enjoy. Do feel free to expand it and add any additional levels. I hope you have enjoyed this 6-part series.